All right. You can't really call you ladies and gentlemen, but our radio friends. See if I can get this a little bit better here so we can see what's actually going on. All right. So I haven't been doing too much videos, or really haven't been thinking even about it. This is my busy time of the year for radios. In the summertime, you get a lot more issues with the foliage. Likes to wreak havoc with RF signals, as I'm sure you guys are well aware. And it's also this is the time when all the schools are going back, so all the school bus companies want radios, and they call you at the last minute and say, hey, we got 20 new buses and we need 20 radios and 20 antennas, and you got to figure out when you're going to order them and install them. And so it's pretty crazy this time of year. So anyways, what we're going to be doing here today's activity, it's kind of something that happened. And if you guys hear like footsteps and like kids screaming, I have a lot of kids, and they're still up. So mom is taking care of them, and I'm down here with you guys doing this video. So this is kind of like kind of a twofer. So I had an issue over the summer, and one of the GMRS repeaters, it had a guy that was jamming the repeater. Now this particular repeater is on a commercial site. It covers a large portion in Western New York. Pretty much, if you guys are from New York, or you want to look at a map of New York, this thing covers like the Rochester area, which is a fairly large city. Also, it covers like the city of Buffalo, into Niagara Falls, and I mean, it's a huge footprint this thing has. So this guy literally could have been anywhere. So one of the things I was thinking is we have these TK880 repeaters. And, you know, if you guys have these at home, or, you know, on a commercial site, or whatever you had them, if you had to remotely disable the repeater, again, if you had a real repeater controller, you would be able to remotely disable the repeater. So this was one of the things of, you know, how can we implement a remote disable into our repeater? Because our repeater is not a conventional repeater, right? It's homemade. It's made of phone lines and a internet jack. And so, you know, we as engineers, we come up with ways to kind of figure this out and overcome and adapt, right? So it was literally probably about a half hour now, maybe 20 minutes now. Somebody sent me a message here on YouTube, and the name escapes me. I should have it. I'm sorry. But this individual wanted to know about the remote stun and the remote kill. And this was a video that I was going to do anyways. And what the remote stun and the remote kill does is it enables you to, let me just, real quick here. It enables you to disable a radio remotely. So most of the time when we have those kind of requests, it's usually for a radio that is lost or stolen. It's usually handheld radios, right? Cops are chasing a guy through a backyard and the radio falls out. We don't know where the radio is. Okay, no problem. You know, we can remotely disable that radio so that if somebody picks it up, they can't go and you know, use it on the police channel. But in this case, if you had a repeater and you needed to remotely disable the repeater, you can also do that. So that's what we're going to do here today. So this is kind of a continuation of the first fleetSync video, because we're going to do this one with fleetSync, but we're going to kind of change it up. So what we're going to do here is, because I don't actually have one of those repeaters right now, and I just want to do this video really quick, and hopefully you guys can kind of follow along. We're going to pretend that the repeater is built, and we're going to pretend that this particular radio here is the repeater transmit radio. So this isn't the one that has all the little wires soldered onto it. This is the one that actually does the transmitting for your repeater. So if you have this set up as a repeater, this would be your output. Okay. Okay. So I hope I explained that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a TK880, but in all of our videos so far, we've done TK880. So I'm just kind of sticking with the trend here. And this does not let me log into my YouTube. All right. I apologize for the gentleman that sent me the the request for the video for the stun and for the stun, the remote stun. So, anyways, I was smart. I made coffee before I started this, so I don't fall asleep halfway through the video like I did last time. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we got our TK880 here. We have our KPG 49D software to program the TK880. And again, just like last video, if you guys are using a different radio, this stuff is in there. It just may be in a different location, so may not be exactly where it is on here. But if you search around, you should be able to find it relatively easy. And then all the info that you put in there will be the same. And the gentleman's name is Mr. Sumpner, Aaron. He's the one that wanted to have the video here. And so here we go. Remote stun. So we'll start with that. So if this was your repeater or just your regular radio in your vehicle or a handheld radio or whatever the case being, what we're going to do is we're just going to start this. So what you do if your radios are fleetSync. Now, I have a video on fleetSyncing a radio already. And what you do is you would add, so we had those status lines like yes, no, you know, meet me at my location. I forgot what I'll put in there, but those I can show you on here real fast. I don't still have them, but I can show you the area that they were in. So the status list, so we had those statuses, right? We had, we started at 10, we did 11, 12, so on and so on. So to do a stun, these are what are called special features. So if we go into our fleetSync pane here, we have the regular. So the one where you'd program the actual model number of the radio, or the fleet and the ID of the radio. If you look down right over here, there should be something that says statuses, and it'll say special, and its status is 80 through 99. These are not necessarily, these are statuses, but they're pre-programmed into the radio, where if you send the status, it automatically just does it. You don't actually have to really program them in per se, but for the sake of this video, we're going to do it just so you guys can kind of see how you do it. So we're going to check this box right here to enable these statuses, these special statuses, which are statuses 80 through 99. And if you remember when we did the fleetSync, I told you had to start with your status list with number 10. You can't start with 1, you can't start with 8, you got to start at 10 and then work your way up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put these statuses. So these special statuses, we're going to start with status 91. So right in your status there, we're going to type a 91, and this one is going to be if you send status 91 to any Kenwood radio that's receiving fleetSync, again, the radio has to be ID'd, so it's got to be a specific radio, like we sent the messages to the specific radio. We're basically sending a message to the radio, and if we use a status code of 91, this is a touchscreen, my other one wasn't. If we use a status code of 91, get rid of this. The status code of 91 is a stun with, so we'll type stun, that's what it is, with no transmit and no receive. Okay, so no TX and no RX. Okay, so when this one goes out, it's if we send a status 91 to any radio that we've ID'd. Again, we're gonna choose the radio we're sending the status message to, whether it's, hey, I'm on my way to work, I'm on my way home, you know, whatever. When we send 91, it's going to be stun, no transmit, no receive, regardless if it's in that radio or not, okay? So 92, is going to be a stun revive, which means once you stun the radio, you want to be able to bring the radio back. So 92 is revive, VIV, stun. All right, so revive stun. And then a 93, okay, this would be the next one down. And I think that's acknowledged to stun is on. So ACK stun on. Hope I got these right. It's been a while since I've had to do this. And 4, I think, is acknowledge the stun is off. 9-4, status 94. And this is acknowledge stun off. Okay. And so those are your stun codes. So 91, 92, 93, 94. So let's kind of got ahead of myself. We're gonna ID this radio. Now, if you already have your radios ID'd, what you would do is, like, you programmed your status messages into your radio, you would program the 91, the 92, the 93, the 94 into your radio as well, so that you can choose those from this list of statuses and send it to that designated radio. So I'm gonna make this one really easy. It's gonna be 222. And so my fleet is 222, and my ID is gonna be 2222. So it's really easy. Okay. And again, we check this box right here. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna pretend that, again, if you have a repeater, your frequencies are already going to be in there. If you have radios that are already programmed, your frequencies are going to be in there, so you really don't have to do this. I'm just going to throw this on a GMRS frequency just for 462.550. And I'm also going to put no tone on this, 462.550, again, just to make it easier for me. And we'll call this one the repeater out. And I should probably click on that so I can actually type repeater out. And wide, I'm going to turn the power down to low, just because I'm transmitting and nothing here. Okay. And as far as we're going to go with that, so let me just write this really fast here. So, yeah, you know what? Probably if I plug this into the front of this, that would just be fantastic. And I apologize for this rat's nest of wires here. Let me move that out of the way so you can see it. Not that you haven't programmed your radio before, but so take this unprogrammed radio and we're going to write that thing to it. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the stun. Now, if you guys are like, how do you set up the fleetSync? I did a video on fleetSync, so probably start with that. And then where I stopped with adding status messages, you guys can just continue on with your status messages, add your own status messages. So just like in fleetSync, what's going to happen here is we're going to choose this radio, and I didn't make it Jen's radio or Jay's radio or anything like that. This is just, I'm just going to do it the code. Again, yours is going to be a lot more simpler because however you set it up. So, and again, if this is a repeater now, what you're going to do is you're not going to transmit on the repeater input. You're going to transmit on the repeater output. So you're going to do like a talk around. And this is for the folks that are doing this on repeaters only. So anybody else, pay no attention to this. If your radio is already programmed and you want to actually stun radios, not repeaters. So when we put this in, remember the transmit frequency. We can also change the tone or the digital tone for input output. So yours is going to transmit. So let's say this is a GMRS repeater and you're transmitting in on 467.550. Your output repeater is 462.550. You can put a different tone in so that not only are you kind of secure it a little bit better, right? So that if somebody tries to stun your repeater, they don't know the tone. They may know the status 91 or whatever, but they got to figure out the tone because it's going to receive on a different tone than it's actually transmitting. Get it? Hopefully that made sense. But in this case, I'm not putting every tone in. So, all right, so here we go. We got the output and the input are the same on this. We're not putting a tone in. We're calling this channel repeater out. As you can see on this radio over here, it says repeater out. So what I'm going to do here is, let me slide this over. And okay, so this is a NX, one of the NXDN radios. It's a digital radio. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to key up and show you that it works. So we can hear it on here. If I turn this up, it'll probably feed back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this radio is receiving just fine. And where's my Burt Reynolds mic? Here it is. Here's the Burt Reynolds mic. Let's plug this in. And we'll show you what this does. So Burt Reynolds mic, transmit, and this is going to go green because it's receiving. I don't know if the mic even works. It might be on a tone. I don't know. But okay, so it's transmitting. We're transmitting. Everything's good. All right. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that status 91, right? Yeah, we'll send the status 91 and we'll have no transmit and no receive on this radio. And just like when you send a status message, this says receiving, this says confirmed, and you know they squawk back and forth. So let's go ahead and do that. If I remember how it is, bam, 2222. There's the ID. And then we're going to go this one. And there's so there's a revive stun. Let's go with stun, no transmit, no receive. Okay, here we go. We're going to send it and send it. This radio's going to receive it, receiving data, and it's going to say complete. So now it looks like a normal radio. But here's what happens. Now if we transmit, let me get out of this here. So we're going to transmit, and this light's going to light up, but you don't hear anything. No matter how loud you turn the volume, you're not going to hear it because this radio no longer receives. We try transmitting with it, it's going to just beep at us. It's not actually going to, it's not going to transmit. This one's not going to receive. Because we have successfully stunned this one. All right. Let's go with the revive here now. So same thing, same ID, 22222. There's that one. Let's go to the revive, which stun revive. So again, same thing. We're sending the status message of 92 to this now, and hit. And that one's receiving the data, and it sent it back and said, you know, complete. So now when we do this, it works again, see? And it receives two. Oh, yeah. Send it again. All right. Oh my goodness. What's going on? All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we brought our radio back. So that's how you can do a quick little stun. You're literally just sending that code out. Okay. Now let's say you want to kill a radio or a repeater, but you know your buddy has one of these things, and they're like, I'm not buying a Kenwood radio, they're too expensive. I can get this for like $15 on eBay. I don't know if they're $15, I have no idea. I buy them by the case. But anyways, all right, so the other thing that you can also set up in these is what's called a deadbeat disable. So the deadbeat disable is also a way to remotely disable the radio, but you do it using your DTMF. And we're gonna go and do that right now. So let's go back to our computer here. Bring this over so you guys can see it. Get this in frame again here. All right. So deadbeat disable. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the DTMF, which is under edit. Edit and then DTMF, and you're going to see in here it's got decode, encode, and memory, DTMF memory. You should have something already filled in. So in this case, mine says 159D for a primary code. A secondary code is A69 star, and then underneath that, yours is either going to be DBD for deadbeat disable, or it may just actually say deadbeat disable depending on which radio it is that you are actually using, okay? So we're going to enter a code in here. Now, the code that you enter, remember, if you enter the same code and you send it, it's going to disable all the radios. So a lot of people, you know, you try to figure out what you're going to do. When I program these, I use the radio's serial number. So, for example, like if I'm putting this in a bus, right? The bus has a number on it. The taxi cab has a number on it, so we know that taxi cab 12. Okay, I installed radio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in cab 12. So when somebody calls me up and says, "Hey, I need to disable cab 12's radio," I can just look it up and go, "Okay, the serial number on that radio is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7," and I can send that code out just by typing it in on this thing here, which will then so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to put a deadbeat disable code for this particular radio. And we're going to pretend that the, again, however you want to set it up is up to you. There's a limit on the numbers. I don't know how many. You can have as little as you want or as many as you want. But I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And close this. What you got to do now on your channel, where your channel is and your frequency is, you're going to go up here to where it says optional signaling, and you're going to turn this to DTMF. Once it's in DTMF, and you have the optional, you have a code in there, just go ahead and we're going to write the data to the radio. So we're going to write that code, and we're going to write all that stuff to it. Our radio says programming. Okay, so now just like with the status messages, you get that squawk from the radio back saying 10-4, or you're not going to get a squawk back. What you're going to get is a long tone when you achieve your, when you know that that radio has been deadbeat disabled, okay? So here we go. Let me make sure this is on the right frequency, and it is. Okay, so I have no tone in this. Again, there's no tone on here, so repeater out. I'm going to go in the output of the repeater, or whatever, to get into that radio, and we're simply going to send the code 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 by typing it in on our pad here, and we're going to use a Bofang to disable a Kenwood radio. So here we go. So we're going to transmit. Turn the volume down a little bit here. Okay. Transmit, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. You're going to get a tone. There's the tone coming back from this radio, and is letting us know that we have now disabled that radio. So now again, if we take our microphone, where did Burt Reynolds? Here we go. All right, so now if we plug this guy in here and we key this up, the radio is gonna go, it's not gonna work. It will, however, still receive. Turn the volume up here, you might be able to hear it, but 1 2 3 3 2 1, 1 2 3 3 2 1. So our radio still receives, but it will not transmit. Okay, now to revive this and bring this back to a transceiver where it can transmit to, we're going to put the same code in, except we're going to add the little pound sign, the hashtag, whatever you guys call it nowadays. We're going to press that. So we're going to enter the code in, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then pound. And that's going to bring the radio back. And what it does, instead of beeping just one long beep, it's going to actually do that twice to let you know that it's now enabled. So turn this down again so we don't blow our ears out, and do that. So here we go. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then the pound, and let go. And then this radio hits once, hits twice. Okay, so now that's telling us, hey, you got the radio. The radio has now been enabled again. So now when we press this button, if it works, there it is. There it is. You can kind of hear it. It's not very loud. Oh, there it is. So now this radio is transmitting again on said frequency, and it receives still the same as it did. Okay, so hopefully that answers all your questions. And again, keep anything you guys want me to do or show you. Let me know. I hope that the repeater and that kind of stuff, it didn't mess you up too bad. But yeah, if you basically just kind of follow what I showed you on here, you guys will figure it out. And if you run into an issue where you can't get it to come back, if you just rewrite the radio, it doesn't brick the radio. If you rewrite the radio again, it'll come back. So if you basically you save a copy of the radio before you start this, if you screw something up, just go back to your copy that was good and rewrite it in there, and you guys will be golden. So yeah, keep the comments coming, keep the suggestions coming. I love it. It's great. And have fun doing your radio gigs there. We're gonna sign off. See you guys.